Absolutely, Grant. It's been tremendous.
Okay, next match, which the 5th and 6th playoff. They're probably hiding in the tunnel. It's Malaysia versus Sri Lanka. And what a torrid weekend these two teams have had. And there's one to go. Malaysia probably using this as a platform into the Southeast Asia Games in a couple of weeks in the Philippines. The Tuskers, well, they probably wouldn't have thought they'd found themselves playing off for 5th and 6th. Here they are. Malaysia, newly promoted after winning the Asia Rugby Sevens trophy, 2nd division. Joseph Gordon has been impressive. Nasarudin in number 12, also number 6, Nasarudin. Been very entertaining. There's got some talent, these sides, and Sri Lanka through their skipper Dan Shadayan, but also Jason Reza and Kevin Dixon, real finishers, and just hasn't gone their way this weekend. Earlier losing the quarter-final, Sri Lanka to the Philippines, which knocked them out into the plate competition. Morgan White from Hong Kong. Malaysia earlier losing out in the quarter-final to Korea 32-7. They were beaten 54-0 by Hong Kong yesterday. They did get a win over Chinese Taipei. Their one win of the weekend. They'll be looking for another one here.
Well, my pick is that Malaysia could be quite dangerous for Sri Lanka here. Probably one of the few teams that can cover them in the loose, just as flair-driven as Sri Lanka can be, but I think they've got the added element as they don't mind getting physical, Malaysia.
And they've taken that ball back 20 metres or so with some big, wide, deep passes, and they've got the wind in their face here. The rain is sweeping across the ground into their faces. That's off the boot, but he's can't stay in field, Amir Nazrun. So Sri Lanka just want to get on with things here. Take the quick line out. Oh, and they try to do the rough stuff themselves. Chathura squirts the ball out in contact. We just saw Afghanistan, they've mastered that, the big Māori sidestep. And that looked like it hurt a little bit.
Well, interesting start to the game, only a minute gone and plenty of action. Look at that rain coming in. It's not exactly falling straight down, is it? This heavy, thick West Coast fog.
Oof. Oh,
well,
what are we looking at here? Are we looking at nothing? Yes, he's been carded by the looks, yes, and lucky to get a yellow for that. That was horrendous. As the judicial officer looks over
there
his
wasn't a lot of care there, was there?
Oh, that's a shocker there. Kevin Dixon's, he's clipped his own hip with his hand and dropped it forward, and he's put himself under pressure here with 6 players.
Looked very much as if he'd leapt onto the shoulder of the Sri Lankan player then as well, which probably doesn't help.
So Malaysia with a chance here, a couple of minutes in. There's been lots of action in the 2 minutes, got to say. It's been a beautiful weekend here, and it's just turned foul at about 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's a real leveler, this sort of weather in sevens. The playbook goes out the window. They earn the free kick and go quick. Anwar Al-Hafiz now to Amalul Hazim, and they try and battle it away in close quarters there, and Sri Lanka not budging an inch. Now they just want to hoy it across the face. Amir Nazrun. Sofian Needs to be a little bit deception here. Very difficult for a defending side going backwards to change direction. Oh, there we go. How about that for a massive show and go from Sadiq Amir. Well, they're pounding away here, Malaysia. Sri Lankans sticking to task and just take a little bit of footwork to unlock this defence, perhaps. This is Joseph Gordon. Yes, we get a change of angle there, but the idea was right, the execution a little bit wanting.
It certainly was. That's a wasted opportunity, unfortunately, for Malaysia as Sri Lanka go back to 7 players. The final half, the final quarter before half time. It's a tight game, and well, should have been expected, to be fair. They do seem pretty well matched.
Malaysia go with the big shunt, targeting the Sri Lankan front row. Pretty hard to get away with that. You could get accused of driving upwards when you're just trying to have a crack. Sri Lanka, they've got to go 90 metres here. We certainly know they can. Good operators from far out. Irishan Silva on the floor. Leaks the penalty. Malaysia with 2 minutes left in this first half. This would be a great scalp for them. A real confidence booster ahead of their re-entry. Well, ahead of the Southeast Asia Games as well, but ahead of their entry next season back into the top level of Asia Rugby 7 Series. A seat at the head table again. Sadiq Amir with the aggressive run straight into Irishan Silva. Tackles keep coming in. This time he slides out, does Amir Nazrun. This is Sofian. Just a little fumble out there. That's disappointing for them. It's frustrating. They can't find a way through. They're getting frustrated, I feel.
Yeah, it looks that way, but just got to stay positive here. Keep a good positive frame of mind, Malaysia. 6 minutes in, 0-0, and it's Malaysia making all the play. Certainly, we know the Tuskers are brilliant counter punchers. But Malaysia have got the ability just to keep a lid on the Tuskers at the moment.
14 degrees at the moment. With that wind down there, it's got to be probably 10 or just below. Foreign sort of weather for both these sides to be running around, and they're doing tremendously well given that. Just running around to try and stay warm. Here's Kevin Dixon. Finally, with one to beat, the sweeper comes across, and wow, all sorts of action there. They both slip over. End result is that it's slowed down for now. Malaysian getting shirts back. They're all behind the ball now. Jathura. One last chance here on the hooter. This would be gold for Sri Lanka. They want to take something into the break. Some form of advantage. Got the wind at their back. Tackling keeps going in. That's a nice one out the back door. Hasn't gone to hand though. Reza goes back. And they've got that off the floor. But yes, well done, says Morgan White. And they want to go now for 70 metres. They break the first tackle. They're on their way. Kevin Dixon gets a hand on him. Good chase from the wee man. That's a good run from Anwar Hafiz. Sri Lanka did incredibly well to get back there and win themselves a penalty, but neither wanting to leak a try at half time. And that's finally done it. They've still got to sweep it a beat, but I think no. Good tackle coming in from Nasharuddin. Look at this, it's desperate stuff from him. He's made 2 big tackles.
They've bombed that completely, Sri Lanka.
Jason goes to ground, hands on the ball there. Not out, says Morgan White, so there's a penalty play here, there's a free ball. Surely they're just going to making hard work of this, aren't they? Here goes Chathura, skips inside one. Can he beat the last? Finally, they break 3 from the clutches of the orange shirts to get one. What a massive final couple of minutes after the hooter there. Both sides sensing that a score there at the end would put them in a great winning position for the second half.
Well, it all seems a bit needless in my opinion. If it's going to come down to 1 try, it might as well come down to 1 try after a rest at half time. I'm not entirely sure where it was all coming from. But in the end, I guess we're going to find out who's got more in the gas tank in the second half. And if you're the Sri Lankan coach at the moment, you're probably just turning around and looking at the wall, because absolutely nobody's paying any attention to you at the moment. In fact, I'd probably let them just have the halftime break on their own and go and find a sandwich and a cup of tea.
Yeah, they're both thinking about the nice warm bus trip back to the hotel, the fluffy sheets, the warm shower, the buffet. It'll be a much better trip back to the hotel with a W. Big shout out to everybody around the world watching the feed, whether it's on Sky Sports in New Zealand, on Facebook. Welcome to Brett Forsyth up at Omaha Beach, New Zealand. He's eating a pie, lying on the sofa on a Sunday night with nothing better to do. It's fantastic work from him. Great having you all with us. The Olympic qualifiers, 2 matches left today. Up next, China versus the Philippines, 3rd and 4th playoff. And eventually at 5:30 local time, the big one. The entry ticket to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. It'll be Hong Kong against the host South Korea, who've grown about 5 extra arms and legs this weekend against the professional machine of Hong Kong Rugby, who will join Japan in Tokyo next year. And of course, 2nd and 3rd spots will go to the repechage in Biarritz in June next year. So another chance for those teams at the Last Chance Saloon. These 2 teams playing for pride, and Malaysia with one eye on the Southeast Asia Games in a couple of weeks. Front of the kicker there, just a bit too eager, the Malaysians. Giving the ball back now to Sri Lanka. Rain seems to have stopped temporarily. Will it hold out for the final couple of games here today? Big shot coming in from Sadiq Amir. Kevin Dixon, oh, that's crazy. He's having a bit of trouble with his radar at the moment.
Wow. Not entirely sure exactly what Kevin Dixon was looking at then, or even if he wasn't looking. If he wasn't looking, perhaps that's an excuse. What a terrible, what a terrible pass.
The drums are warming up for the final. They're getting their last rehearsal in. You can probably hear it. Kevin Dixon gets the pass right that time. They managed to steal the Malaysian line out. This is Budima Priyaratna. Azwan Zuwadi tries to peel off maximum distance here. He's given Kevin Dixon a chance to just bat that one back in field, and there's another wild pass from Kevin Dixon. Really opening up the pecs for those big long passes. I think they're just not giving the Malaysians enough respect here. I think they feel like they can just get it wide and it'll happen from there. Malaysians making them work very hard. Big tackle coming in from Amalul Hazim. They need to get this ball back, Malaysia. Here's Kevin Dixon. Oh, look at the footwork. Good change of direction. Lays it up with a one-hander. And this man can go. Look out, it's Reza. One to beat. Sweepers have been doing an incredible job for Malaysia, but this time I think Reza's just too cunning. Sorry, it's Budima Priyaratna. And a good Maisie Jinky run there to finish that one off. The sweeper couldn't clean him up this time and put him in the trash. And there's the look of frustration.
Oh, poor old Malaysia. Looks like the needle's on zero. They're lacking the energy and the strength to go on with it. Sri Lanka haven't been altogether as impressive as they can be in this tournament. They might have had the one knocked out of their sails early on day one as Greg Hunton and Mr. Moyes look on.
스리랑카 팀 선수 교체 있습니다. 10번 선수가 나오고 9번 선수가 들어갑니다. Substitution for Team Sri Lanka, player number 10 is substituted by player number 9.
That might just be enough to break Malaysia's resistance here. 2 converted tries. No one wants to see this go to extra time.
I don't think there's any need for that, Grant, no.
Just a coin toss, a gentleman's agreement. Legs get heavy. End of the second day. This is their 5th game.
선수 교체 있습니다. 5번 선수가 나가고 6번 선수가 들어갑니다. Substitution for Sri Lanka, player number 5 is substituted by player number 6.
Malaysia, I'm sure they'd probably want to go to extra time. And the utter despair there shown in the hoofing of the ball away by Azizul Hakim. Just floating away from him with the wind behind him. Terribly frustrating. Couple of subs then for the final 2 minutes of this fixture. For Sri Lanka, off comes Kevin Dixon. Also on comes Amir Nazrun for Malaysia. Refereeing's been top-notch this weekend. Some of the moustaches left a lot to the imagination.
Some of them not enough.
Look at this feisty bit of work from Hezri. Gritted his teeth and just took about 20 metres off Sri Lanka there. That just had to go to hand. Something was on. Straightening now, one to beat. Big fend to the mush on the 22 now. Amir Nazrun stepping. This is Wan Azudin. Second good carry. Oh, look at the footwork there. He's going to just drag over the defender. Terrific finish from Amalul Hazem. Well deserved. They've given themselves a shot here this time. He wants to be subbed. He looks despairingly towards the coach.
Player number 12 scores a try and earns 5.
Business house touch, isn't it? After work
Just
on a
turn your
Wednesday.
back. The coach just, there he goes. He's just turning around to take a look again. He's not waving to me, is he?
Tremendous finish, you know. Could have just shoveled that along for someone else to finish it.
스리랑카 팀 선수 교체 있습니다. 4번 선수가 나오고 8번 선수가 들어갑니다. Substitution for Team Sri Lanka. Player number 4 is substituted by 8. Malaysia 팀 선수 교체 있습니다.
And he does get his wish.
선수가 나오고 8번이 들어갑니다. Substitution for Team Malaysia. Number 3 is substituted by number 8.
Actually doesn't. That was Sofian that's been hooked. What have we got left on the clock here?
스리랑카 팀 선수 교체 있습니다. 1번 선수가 나오고 7번으로 교체됩니다.
About 5 seconds, so Sri Lanka just have to defuse this, and they made a bit of a hash of it. Here they go then, try scorer. They just have to hold on to it. Wear Sri Lanka down, who are starting to tire. Here's Amir Nazrun. A couple of big carries from Hezri in this last few moments. He gets smashed in the face by his own teammate. He won't mind that. Who's going to be the one to break through here? Amir Nazrun. Wan Azudin gets flung to the ground and he rolls a couple. They need to score somewhere near the posts. A little bit isolated, squirts back. They've been penalised and that'll be it for Malaysia. Well, you can't say they haven't given this a good try. Out she goes, and that's all they wrote. Bring down the curtain on this campaign, this Olympic qualifying campaign for these two sides. Sri Lanka have prevailed over Malaysia. They take 5th spot. Malaysia take 6th. And